Last summer when I was in China, I had a chance to try the Oladance OWS. I guess you'd call it a sports earphone. And I bought a pair, and actually it's probably the audio device that I listen to more than anything else. So what's cool about these OWS earphones is they hook over your ear and there's a speaker and it just kind of basically blasts music into your ear. Unlike bone conduction, which, kind of sits here and vibrates this portion of your head, this is actually like a little speaker and it just aims right into your ear. It's a great way to listen to music or audio books or the news or whatever it is that you want to listen to, because you can hear what's going on around you and yet you still get a fairly immersive sound. So for a lot of practical listening, this is something that I found myself using a lot. So Kiwi Ears just came out with the Attiva. Comes in a nice box, and this is the Attiva case. It's $39, and they're very, very similar. The Oladance OWS Pro 2 are $229, and the Kiwi Ears Attiva are $39. So I thought we could compare them and see what the pros and cons of both of them are. The packaging, which I don't have, I've long since gotten rid of the packaging, was really nice on the Oladance. The presentation of the box and everything, unboxing experience was actually probably one of the best unboxing experiences I've ever had. I'm not a huge box guy, but it just felt like opening an Apple product. It was just designed really well. It maybe even better than Apple. It was great. $229. The Kiwi Ears Attiva at $39 comes in a nice box and is also a pretty nice unboxing experience. You sort of pull this tray out, and it's like a kind of a cobalt blue or purple, I guess, tray. Gets a little card, and then it's sort of a cheap vacuum formed plastic little tray that the clamshell comes in, and then there's a USB-A to USB-C cable, and you get a little manual that tells you how they work. And actually the manual, although it's only a couple pages in each language, was quite helpful. If you don't want to stay to the end of this video, I'm going to tell you right now, the Oladance Pros sound better. For listening to music, I would choose this over the Kiwi Ears Attiva. However, for $39, there were some things that I actually liked better about the Kiwi Ears over the Oladance. And you're going to have to stick around to find out what those things are. So in terms of how this works, you basically charge up the clamshell. Anyone who's had wireless earbuds knows the deal. You charge this up, it's USB-C, it's got some lights on it. And then, actually one of the things that was kind of tricky is opening this clamshell is somewhat tricky. What I found is you just sort of squeeze the side and lift it up, but there's no fingernail catch or any indentation. And then this is the actual device, which goes over your ear and sits very nicely. Earlier today, I did a 20-mile run and I listened to these the whole time. I was actually listening to an audio book. They were great. One of the things I actually like better about the Kiwi Ears Attiva over the much more expensive Oladance is the interface. These are cool because you basically just tap them a number of times to either access volume or next track or to turn off the active noise cancellation, so on and so forth. And while there are certainly sequences that you'd have to remember, I never really figured it out with the Oladance. It's like a slide and a tap, and it doesn't work that well on the Oladance. The call quality on the Oladance in a noisy environment is better. I called my wife from these in a very noisy environment, and then I called her with these from a very noisy environment, and she said that the Oladance rejected the outside noise better than the Kiwi Ears did, and these sounded slightly muffled, but she said that it was, well, not negligible. It certainly wasn't a deal breaker. Essentially, what she said is if she didn't know the difference between the two, she wouldn't have really given it much thought. Battery life on these is pretty good. Honestly, in the amount of time that I've tested both of them, I've never had either one run out of battery. That's actually not entirely true. On the Oladance, the left one doesn't always sit properly in the case, and I have to be very, very thoughtful about how I place it in the case to make sure that the battery is charging up. That's something that I've learned is a flaw, and for $230, that's not something I want. I haven't noticed that to be the problem with the Kiwi Ears, and while I haven't used them as much, I do find that they positively snap into the case in a nice way. They're also a little bit smaller, and I'd say lighter as well than the Oladance. On my 20-mile run today, I didn't even notice that I had them in, and I did have to change the volume on my phone, which I do for both models, depending on how much outside noise there is around. But I never found that it was too noisy outside of my, personal space that I couldn't get enough volume to hear the audiobook that I was listening to with the Kiwi Ears, or the Oladance for that matter. Slightly smaller case, I like that. Easier to put in the pocket. It's also a little bit lighter. The lights on the front that show how much battery life is left is very nice. The Bluetooth connection is just as fast on both the Oladance and the Kiwi Ears Attiva. Fast Bluetooth connection on both, positive Bluetooth connection on both. I have tested both walking around my house with my phone in my kitchen. I don't live in a big house, but I've got more than one story. So I went up the stairs and into my bedroom and back down the stairs. I went into the basement, and both devices actually stayed connected rock solid, no problem. On my run today with the Kiwi Ears, there were never any Bluetooth hiccups with the $39 Kiwi Ears Attiva. Here's the thing that I don't like as much about the Kiwi Ears as the Oladance. For music, the Oladance sounds better. It has more bass presence. It's more of a audiophile experience, if you'll forgive the terminology, because I wouldn't say either device is really an audiophile device, but these are actually enjoyable to listen to music with because they do give you kind of a tremendous sound stage. They do sit outside your ears, and there's an app that Oladance has so you can do some mild EQing and make them sound the way that you really want them to sound. These sound better for music than these do. There's no app for the Kiwi Ears Attiva for $39. I wouldn't expect an app. And the music, it sounds a little, I would say it's a little mids forward. So its vocals can be a little bit honky. You don't have really much bass presence at all. Certainly no sub bass presence, not enough mid bass presence for my tastes, but there's also no distortion, and clear enough and detailed enough that if you're not listening critically, or you're listening to a podcast or news or an audio book, or you just want to listen to some music while you're like doing other busy work, they're fine. They're fine. They're $39 versus $229. I guess what I would say is, because the Bluetooth is essentially the same, call quality is a little better on the Oladance, packaging is a little smaller on the Kiwi Ears, price is almost $200 difference. These do have that flaw I mentioned with charging, where these have been rock solid with charging. So one thing I could say, and this is super nitpicky, the manual for the Kiwi Ears Attiva in English isn't written in proper English. It's got some sort of grammatical anomalies that, you know what they're trying to say. I think it would probably make you feel more confident about the product if it was written properly. So maybe that's something they can fix in the future. If I'm listening to music, I'm going to listen to the Oladance. Most of my listening with a OWS wireless system is spoken word. So truthfully, I'll be using the Kiwi Ears Attiva probably more than the Oladance. A big reason is because I know that I can pull them out of the case and they're going to be charged, where sometimes this left one just doesn't charge right. If you're looking for a sports style earphone, I think the Kiwi Ears Attiva is a really good choice. I don't know if you can wear them in the rain. I know that you can wear the Oladance in the rain. I'm going to try these out and maybe I'll do a little update and let you know. My guess is they're probably just as waterproof as the Oladance because they're built really well and, you know, it's sealed up. This case is hard to open. I got to fix this. Just put like little indentation on the sides or a thumbnail. I don't know, something. The case is too hard to open. It's not a deal breaker. Yeah, they're good. 39 bucks. Love it. I'm James Demer, the Audio Nomad. Until next time, take care. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by Linsoul.com. Linsoul sells IEMs, headphones, amplifiers, digital to analog converters, cables, really just about anything you could want for personal hi-fi or even home hi-fi. Their prices are great, the quality is exceptional, and their customer service is really second to none. Check them out in the link below.